say that this is a little more of an essay than a poem, but it's certainly a poetic essay. I wrote it about 6 or 7 years ago, and it came to mind a Saturday or so ago when I was with Ben and Mark, and we were talking about service to the church. So, it's called Finding the Christ Child. Joseph and Mary made the trek to Bethlehem, even though they didn't have hotel reservations. They didn't even have train tickets. Joseph walked, and Mary made the journey on donkey back, which must have been grueling, especially since she was due to give birth. But we don't hear about Mary's suffering. The story of the Holy Family's travels and Christ's birth in a stable is a romantic one, but only because we have the long view afforded by the ages. The harrowing details have been edited out. Today, if a poor man knocked on one of our doors, we probably wouldn't lend him or his pregnant wife the use of the garage. That's where the SUV is. So why did this innkeeper open up his stable more than 2,000 years ago? He may have had a touch of compassion. We never hear about stories of how the innkeeper's family, you never hear stories about how the innkeeper saw to the family's unlikely comfort in the humble digs of a stable. Nor do you hear about how the innkeeper's wife took hot soup or bread, or even water to the poor strangers. Thank goodness Mary packed the swaddling clothes. If Joseph didn't have a reservation, how did the shepherds and the king find Jesus? Of course, the angels told the shepherds where to look, and the 3 kings, who were very wise men, followed a star to the stable. And I think I remember hearing about the resident animals who were on their best behavior. Apparently, they knew something special was going on. But what of all the travelers who were crowding the inn? Didn't they look outside and see a bright, shiny star just above the stable? Weren't the angels singing? Why didn't these people visit the Christ child? They may not have been in the mood to see Jesus. Perhaps they were busy eating and drinking. The innkeeper wasn't interested. Self-absorbed, they didn't give the poor travelers a second thought. They just tended to their own cups and let Joseph and Mary fend for themselves. So, how can we be sure not to miss such an opportunity? I remember when I was in high school, walking home after class in a snowstorm without a heavy coat or boots. It was a surprise storm. And my friends and I passed a nursing home. And a woman opened the door and invited us in. But not wanting to stop, we kept on going. And I have to say, I'm ashamed to say, I will never forget the look of disappointment on her face. It was a chance for me to visit the Christ child